This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook here at the greatest stadium ever created, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And I'm blessed to have a friend from across the pond. He's Dr. Alexander Steinforth, Managing Director of Germany for the NFL. Welcome to the Playbook, Alexander.
David, thank you very much for having me on your show. And you really have a fantastic place to work from, I have to say.
Yeah, I wish I could play on the field, but those were dreams shattered years ago. But I wanted to share a story with you that you may or may not know. I played college football, and I was an average Division III football player. And in 1989, I was invited to play professional football in Germany, to be a coach player. And Germany was one of the first countries to bring the American form of football to its country. And but for the fact I had to make money, and I would have been there in 2 seconds. And I had many friends who have played over there, and many friends who have done movies and TV shows as well. And now it takes minutes to sell out a stadium for an NFL game. It seems to be over these last, believe it or not, almost 40 years, a real phenomenon. And for you, can you talk us through that evolution from a football presence of having people like me playing to having the world's best in the world's best stadiums with an unbelievable fan base that is blowing the minds of everyone around the world?
Yeah, sure, David. I mean, first of all, I think you missed out. You probably should have taken up that offer and should have played in Germany. But it's, as you said, it's a really interesting journey we're on, and it really goes back to, you know, the 50s, 60s, 70s. American football has been popular here. Obviously, as you know, we have many American troops over here, which kind of brought it over, but at the same time also many of the oldest European football clubs, American football clubs, have been founded in Germany back then, and always had a German league going on here. But it really probably took it to the next level when in the 90s the NFL decided to you know, invest into the World League, into the NFL Europe, the NFL Europa, as it was called in the end. I think what you could see when the league decided to shut it down in 2007, that most of the teams that worked really well were teams from Germany. Essentially, in the end, it was an NFL Germany based on the number of teams from Germany. And then people and the fan base that was built in those years was really sad to see the NFL and professional, and you know, at a high level professional football leave the country. And so last year, when we had our first ever regular season game over here in Germany, I think everyone around the globe saw the excitement, having Tom Brady in market, having the Seahawks and the Bucks in market. Ticketmaster told us it was the one of the highest demand events they ever had on their platform, and this has even been topped by the 2 games we'll have in Frankfurt this year. So there's a lot of excitement for the NFL, for American football in Germany right now, and you know, we just want to do the most out of it and help the sport, help the league grow in the best way possible.
One of the obstacles as the NFL went into Asia and Europe was teaching the game of football. It's a very complex, multiple position, rule intensive game that's hard to facilitate. I was wondering what impact, number one, video games like Madden have had in educating the market, and then 2, how fantasy football has also impacted the engagement and education of the German fan base.
It's a really good point. You know, American football is probably not the easiest sport to understand when you haven't played it or watched it before. And it's a very different setup here in Germany. Kids still grow up, the majority of them, being soccer fans. It's something that's still handed down generation by generation, and that's exactly where we're trying to start our offer, so to say. So we're investing right now a lot of time, also money, into flag football over here, working with schools all across Germany. We had our first ever nationwide tournament last year in Germany. It's a growing one this year. And we'll most likely keep growing that one, because that's one of the things we're trying to do, getting kids to play as early as possible. That helps the kids, that also helps their parents. And at the same time, also using our owned and operated media channels, working with our media partners, to put those small snippets out there that explain people who've never watched an NFL game before what the specific rules are. But the 2 points you mentioned, they are obviously also very important. Madden is quite a big thing over here in Germany as well, and quite popular. So that definitely helps for those that are coming more from the gaming side of things. Fantasy is something which also has seen growing popularity over the past couple of years, but still isn't quite there yet if you compare to gaming. But also a super easy, simple tool to just get people to, spend more time with how the game is being played, and anything that's kind of targeting those questions, like how do you play, what are the rules, which players do exist, is something that definitely helps us to make the NFL as much as tangible as possible over here.
And, as an aspect to media, the excitement and engagement is unseen, even in America. The response that you get, I think it took minutes with 1 million people and 60 minutes to sell out the latest games that were offered there in Frankfurt. How important is media, and what's the current media strategy within Germany? Is it network, social? What combination are you utilizing to build such an incredible inertia and momentum in Germany?
Yeah, I mean, we probably could have sold out those games within a second based on demands. It's more like, from a technical point of view, obviously that's not feasible. But we had 3 million devices in the queue for that second game we're playing in Frankfurt. That's unheard of, at least over here in Germany. So great demand, and part of that is due to our media strategy, which has been developed by our NFL international colleagues, our media teams, our in-market team over the past couple of years. And that's really key for us, because if you think about how a German NFL fans consumes the sport, the game, even though we do have games now, still the majority of it obviously is through media, is through social, or through our free-to-air and pay product. For us, it's really important, and that might be one of the key differences to the domestic market, is that we try to push as much out here on our free-to-air partners channels as possible. So we really want to build reach, and that comes back to the point you mentioned, David, that we're still in a stage where we have to make most of Germans understand the rules, the ins and outs of American football. Also build heroes and build faces, not just the Germans that are playing in the league, but also kind of the more prominent names in the States are not necessarily as prominent over here in Germany. So trying to be as visible as possible with our media partners. We've entered into a new partnership with RTL, the biggest private network, starting this season. So there will be more American football than ever before on free-to-air. We also have a fantastic and long-lasting relationship with DAZN as our pay TV provider. And then there's the Game Pass for the avid fans. And that's trying to consume live football. But you mentioned it also, our owned and operated channels, especially social media, is also key, especially to target those younger audiences. And move that hour-long game, 3-4 hours of one game, into small snippets, so it's more digestible, especially for those that don't have the time to spend all their evening on the couch and watch the full game.
And are the sponsorships and endorsements run through Germany NFL or NFL America? How are you dealing with just two games, the sponsorship and endorsement side of the game?
Yeah, we're working very closely with not just our US colleagues, but also our London colleagues, especially those two offices are working really closely together. It's a mix of both. It's a little bit of that IOC model where you have some global partner, I would call them, that decide to activate in all international markets as well. But then probably the majority of brands that you will see this year for our Frankfurt games are domestic brands, who are also really excited to use the power and the reach of a truly global sports product like the NFL to get their name out there. So you see some of the big brands that you know from the States. You see some German brands that you might not have heard before, or who are already active in the States. So it's a mix of both.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity for everyone. Beyond that, one of the cultural things that is in football and American football is the hospitality component. When we create an experience like none other, and you have the inertia and engagement that you have there in Germany, are there unique hospitality opportunities with the games that maybe are Cup game or Premier League game that would have a more German feel than your typical corporate hospitality in a suite in America?
Well, David, you're in the stadium that probably does it best in the States, or at least being very much on top, talking about hospitality, how not just to create a unique, a fantastic experience, but also being really good at monetizing that part of the business. We are in a slightly different position over here in Germany, that we don't have any stadiums that are necessarily built for American football. So we are playing in stadiums that have been initially built for European soccer, for German soccer. And still we're putting a lot of effort, and especially our events team and our game day team is putting so much effort in trying to recreate an experience which on the one hand feels very similar to what fans are used to from playing games in the States. On the other hand, also trying to add a local, in this case, German touch. So, whether it's, what kind of food you get, how you manage bars, how you, talk to the people, how everything looks like. It's really important that people understand and feel that this is the NFL, and this is very different from other sports property that might host game in that stadium. But at the same time, that people who travel over from the States, let's say, also understand this is Germany. This is also to a certain extent different to the NFL game in the States, and that goes far beyond bratwurst and beer.
Absolutely. And one of the things Germany is known for is superior engineering, technology, great scientific minds, as everybody knows historically, really lead the earth on some of the innovations that exist. How is the NFL and NFL Germany utilizing blockchain or AI or the superior engineering that exists there comparatively? Are there certain nuances with blockchain or AI that are incorporated into these experiences?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we're again always discussing very closely with our US counterparts, with our international colleagues. These are obviously kind of super interesting technologies you just mentioned there, and very different technologies at the same time, right? You can use an AI tool in a very different way. You do something with blockchain. We have been playing a bit back and forth with some of those technologies. but it's probably still too early for this year to share with the public what exactly will happen. But yeah, something we're having a very close look at with everyone on the US side, where there are a lot of talented people working on that.
I can't wait to see. It's a beautiful marriage between the NFL and Germany, obvious by the results and the outcomes that have already occurred. My last question is one out of curiosity. As I sit in the most popular, beautiful American stadium, as you noted, that screen behind me is over $1 billion for a screen alone. Taylor Swift has sold out in minutes as fast as the technology would allow 6 concerts. And I told people the only thing more popular than Taylor Swift in the world is football in Germany. And to that end, it's created quite a big secondary market. And just out of the business aspect of sports in the NFL, is there a secondary ticket market in the NFL like America? Are there companies like the secondary companies that we have? Or is it a different system that they're utilizing today when there's such a huge demand on tickets?
It is actually a very different, I would say, mindset or mentality over here in Germany compared to the States. So people or fans, I would say in general, are not so used to buying tickets on secondary market platforms. So what we had as feedback from our fans that those lucky ones that managed to buy tickets when right after the ticketing process had ended, they put it up on the likes of eBay, etc., for, I don't know, 10 times the price. Germans are very skeptical of that. They don't like it. They feel the true fans should be in the stadium, not the ones that pay the highest prices. So that's something that goes back to the roots of European soccer, German soccer, where you still have at a very low price point access to stadia. And there is one platform, so we have a secondary market with our partner Ticketmaster. That's the only platform that is official to sell tickets. And we tell all the fans, don't try to buy tickets from any other platforms, because there are a lot of people out there who put fake tickets on those platforms as well. Everyone can try their luck on the secondary market that we've put out there. However, we believe that most people who have managed to get tickets are very happy about it and will try to be in the stadium themselves for those 2 games.
Well, me and some of my partners are looking forward to coming out and seeing those games. I think we're trying to arrange some chalk talk dinners and some other things to help facilitate raising the awareness, and at a high level, bringing in some former general managers and owners, and even on the marketing and business side, to educate and utilize it as content for hospitality. This is supplemental information and entertainment that revolves around the business of the NFL and the business of football. I just love the fact that we're starting here in America to really appreciate the European football, and it seems as if Europe is really starting to appreciate our American brand as well, and they complement one another. And I feel as if everybody can enjoy both and appreciate the differences and the similarities. I feel as if for sure that we're going to see some great German kickers in the league first, and some records will be broken very soon because of the exposure and the participation and the engagement and excitement around the NFL in Germany, with the great leadership of Dr. Alexander Steinforth, the managing director of Germany for the NFL. Thank you for joining me. This is David Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.